Okay, welcome to our On Fire Empire team call. Today's June 15th, and we are doing kind of our second part of our social media series. Last week, we did like a Facebook facelift, talk about profile pictures, cover photos. So if you haven't had a chance to watch that, go ahead. It would be beneficial to take the time and go back and watch that. I know a few of you guys have updated your cover photos since then and profile pictures, and but it's definitely one you'll want to be able to take notes. And then today I thought we would focus on just kind of social media posts. Social Media 101 is what I'm calling it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Facebook, and then I asked Logan to talk a little bit about Instagram, and Heather to touch on Pinterest some, because, you know, Facebook seems to be our big way to grow our network right now. But Instagram is growing huge. There's lots of very, very successful coaches where they use Instagram solely and use Facebook just for like their groups. You know, and I don't know much about Pinterest other than the fact that I pin stuff that I want for my new house, but I do know there is networking there too. So I thought we'd touch on those as well. I had this great plan of like having these examples for you guys of things like what not to do, what to do. It's gonna like try to be an emerald, which I don't know if you guys are in the Rank It Up group, but I think I got like 3 points for the emerald. So that didn't happen. So I thought we would just talk about it. If you guys had questions, you know, we could address those also. But one thing I wanted to touch on is your timing of whenever you post on social media. And it's going to be different for everybody, you know, depending on what time zone you're in, where your audience is from. Because just because I'm in the central time zone doesn't necessarily mean that my audience is all from the central time zone. However, mine is. If you guys have a like page, you can actually go in and look and see where all your followers are from. You can even see what time of day that they're on. You want to think about posting when there's going to be a lot of people on Facebook to view your post. So they usually say morning, noon, and night. So I kind of play around with it. Sometimes I have a lot of success posting around 7:30 or 8, kind of that time frame when people are headed to work, or they get to work early and they check their Facebook before they get started, or maybe before they leave the house. Sometimes I've had a lot of success at like a 10:30 time, which randomly is one of those times that I didn't get a chance to post early, so I randomly posted at 10:30. And I don't know if it's a stay-at-home mom crew that caught it during like a morning nap time. Sometimes that works for me. But if you think about morning, noon, and night, so around lunchtime when people are on their lunch break, you know, catching up on Facebook, and then in the evening, I usually find the most success for me is at around 8 or 8:30. I guess maybe after people have put their kids to bed, they sit on the couch and scroll Facebook or whatever. The thing with Facebook is that it is changing constantly. And, you know, once we feel like we've got something figured out, something changes, and you're like, well, shoot, why is nobody seeing my post? So I don't know if all of you guys have a like page, but if you don't, that's something I would encourage you to do, because there are benefits of having a like page as far as, are you guys still there? Oh, there I am.
You back?
I'm back. Sorry. See, even at my parents' house, it wants to kick me off. We have the same internet provider, though. So, Um, thank you. So I was saying that there are some benefits to having a like page. You can boost some of your posts, you can run ads, and you don't have those capabilities on your personal page. So if you don't have a like page, it is something that, Megan recommended to me, and that I recommend to you guys just for some of those reasons. And like I said, you can click on, I need to look and see what you have to click on, but you can see where your audience is from. You can see what time of day they're on, or the most people are on. So that would kind of give you a clue as to when to post. Another thing that some people do is if you look down at when you're on Facebook, down at the bottom where it says chat. So if you're on your computer, I don't know where it is on your phone. Maybe somebody knows, but it'll say, like right now, my chat says 65. So that means there's 65 of my Facebook friends that are on Facebook right now. So you kind of watch that and say, okay, well, at least 65 people would see it, So as far as timing, think about morning, noon, and night. We say to try to post at least 2 to 3 times a day, but if you listen to the National Wake Up Call, I want to say 2 weeks ago, Brittany, what's her last name? She led it a couple weeks ago, and she suggested she's found that the sweet number is actually 3 to 5 times a day. Obviously the more you're posting, the more likely someone is to see one of your posts pop up on their newsfeed. Say hi. So some days I'm really good, and some days I do post 5 times a day. Some days I'm lucky to get in twice. So the thing about posting with our business, so this is considered attraction marketing, right? So we post things that are attracting our followers, attracting new people to whatever we're doing. And so the more we put out there, about our daily life, the more we put out there about how this opportunity has changed our lives, how the workouts are helping us, how the eating, the more they're going to figure out what we're doing. And so if you think about it as attraction marketing, you want to attract people to what you're doing. And that doesn't just have to be drinking Shakeology, doesn't have to just be working out. It, like we talked about last week, you want to brand yourself. And so if you think about, okay, well, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and so I need to post about what do I do at lunchtime with my girls? Or maybe I'm cleaning the house today and the girls are taking a nap and I'm cleaning my house today instead of working out because, my house is a mess. Whatever it is, there's no bad post. The only bad post you can have is when you don't post, right? So a post is better than nothing. At the same time, you've got to find the balance of posting with intentionally posting. Is that the word? Making your posts mean something. So, a lot of us take pictures with our Shakeology cup. And I talked about this on our page last week maybe. And, rather than just taking a picture with your Shakeology cup and saying, yum, or so good, or whatever, awesome. Okay. Put why you like it. Why is it good? Why is this helping you out today? Is it because of the convenience? Is it because you needed to fuel your body with the healthiest meal of the day because you've eaten like crap? Is it because you wanted your breakfast to taste like Reese's? Whatever it is, give your post some something that is gonna give it value to the people that are seeing it. And, same thing with your workouts. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are days that I'm like, I don't even know what to post. I'm just going to post my sweaty selfie and say something about how I got it in, even though I'm super busy. okay, so maybe it wasn't a long story. Maybe I wasn't sharing my story, but that is part of my story. Part of my story is I'm a busy mom. I've got lots of things going on right now, but I still found the time to work out. So, as long as you're giving it a little bit of value to your viewers, that's going to be the important. It doesn't always have to be paragraphs of story. It doesn't always have to be heartfelt and emotional. Yes, those are great posts, and you're going to attract a lot of people that way. But sometimes this most simple post, where there have been days where I'm like, I don't even know what I'm going to post, and I snap a picture of my kids with food all over their face and say something that I'm like, oh my gosh, that gets like the most views and the most likes and the most comments. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I spent like 2 hours trying to figure out this like heartfelt post, and nobody even likes it, So, you're going to figure out your audience, and then sometimes, like I said, you're going to figure them out, and then something's going to change with Facebook. But, I want you guys not to be afraid to post. Something you can think about doing. I know in our challenge groups, we have like our hashtags. So if we think about like the Motivational Monday, Tasty Tuesday, Water Wednesday, whatever your hashtags are, post about that on your page. It gives you a topic to post about. So find a motivational quote, post it. And I do suggest, instead of finding like on Pinterest, you can search quotes or whatever, and you find like the graphics. Those are fine sometimes, and for some people they really work. But when we think about wanting to brand ourselves and in our lifestyle, people want to see you. So instead, I strongly suggest taking a picture of you. It can be a selfie. It can be a picture of you working out. It can be a picture of your kids, whatever. And then put the quote at the very top of your post, and then kind of talk about what that means to you. Because they're going to be more drawn to you than another quote, another, graphic. So use those hashtags to give you an idea of what to post about. In the mornings, maybe that's what I would do. So I like to try being the key word. If I get my personal development in the morning, I like to try to include that in a post in the morning. Something I learned, a quote I got from there, something, that's going to get me through the day, and share that on my pages. At noon, maybe just snap a picture of what you're doing, whatever it is you're doing. Are you cleaning? Are you eating? Did you go out to eat? Did you, is your husband at home from work? Is whatever you're doing, just snap a picture and talk about it. Tell them about, how it's a struggle, or you haven't been in the grocery store, so this is what we threw together. Whatever it is, snap a picture, talk about it. And then maybe in the evening, share a piece of your story. And either we talk about inviting. So inviting can be anything from like a soft invite and just kind of, trickling in what this opportunity has done for you, or trickling in what these challenge groups have done for you. It doesn't always have to end with why don't you join me? Click on this link. You can say, oh my gosh, in my challenge groups today, we talked about our why. It really got me thinking about why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for my kids, blah, blah, blah. So thankful for my challenge groups. It's a soft invite because you are talking about why these groups are important to you, why they've changed your lifestyle. But it's not always saying, join me, join me, join me. However, those are important too. That would be considered like a hard invite. You're flat out saying, I need 5 people to join me next month. I've got to get things in gear, and I want you. So in the evenings, I would think about sharing a piece of your story, and whether it is a soft invite or a hard invite. But most people are going to be on social media in the evenings. So, just post. Like I said, just posting something is better than nothing. But again, try to give it some value. Try to give your viewers some value. And And then again, try to show your face, show your kids, whatever it is that's going on in your day, rather than finding the quote graphic from Pinterest or things like that. And I think with Facebook, especially like pages, rather than posting a couple pictures at once, I would just do one picture, something that's going to catch their attention when they're scrolling through. Because if you think about when you get on Facebook and you scroll, which takes up way more time during my day than it should, but if you think about it, you scroll, a couple times, and if something catches your eye, you might go back. So you want it to be something that is going to stop the scroll, right? So whether that is the picture of whatever you put, or maybe it's the very first line of your post. So if you think about whenever you're writing content for your post, you want to think about it like a magazine. So if you think about checking out at the grocery store and you see their headlines, their little snippets of what the story is about, something's going to grab your attention. Or if you thumb through a magazine, they don't just go right into the story. They have a title or they have a subtitle that catches your attention, that makes you want to read it a little bit more. So, even sharing your story, you might put the main focus at the top, like, hey, I really struggled. I'm really horrible at thinking of this off the top of my head, but okay, I really struggled with trying every single diet, over-the-counter pill, working out all the time, and nothing worked for me until now. And then I go into my story. Something to grab their attention, whether it's the picture with your post or the little subtitle, the attention grabber at the top, because that's what's going to show up. What is it, like 5 lines that shows up on the post before you push the read more? So that's something else to think about whenever you are forming your content for your post, on Facebook at least. Do you guys have any questions so far? That's really all I wanted to touch on Facebook. I don't know, Logan or Heather, was there something else we had talked about?
I would just mention that if somebody comments on your picture, don't write back for, they say, 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And it recycles your post back into the feed. So if somebody comments on one of your posts, wait at least 20 minutes before you like it and reply. And they say don't do the reply to the comment, make a second comment so that everybody can kind of see it.
Or I have heard, instead of making another comment, if you at least tag the person. So if, where you can type it out and it tags the person, it'll also
recycle it
back up. So yeah, that is a good point. And you want to engage with people that are stepping out and commenting on your posts. One, because that's a connection, that's part of building that relationship. And 2, like they said, it recycles it back up into news feeds, where you're going to get a bigger reach of people seeing it. So that's great. I was going to say, so I've got a like page and a personal page, and everybody, do you post the same thing? Do you share it? And there's no right or wrong thing here. You just kind of got to play with it. And usually what I try to do is I usually post on Instagram the same thing that I post on my like page. Oh, we lost him again. Your internet is kicking me off. Mm-hmm.
It's so frustrating.
There are some posts that hey, you made it back. There are some posts that I'll just do like on my personal page that have like more to do with my kids and stuff. But I'm trying to utilize my like page more and more just because it's going to get into obviously like a wider audience. And I do share a lot of my like page posts onto my personal page to hopefully like get a little bit more traffic from my personal page, like over onto my like page. And so today, like right before the call, actually, I was looking on Megan's YouTube page, and I found that she was tagged in a call that Brittany Leggett led with her team that was like in November or something, and Megan was like the guest speaker on it, and it was how to grow a network like through your like page. So I was about halfway through that call listening to like Megan explaining to this other team kind of like how she does it. So I can link that like onto our On Fire Empire page if people want to watch. And I remember like as one of the like very first Fit and Fierce calls that I think I watched was a call where Brittany Leggett was, but I haven't been able to find, I don't know if that one was recorded or not. I haven't ever been able to find that one because I wanted to go back and watch it, but
I bet it was. And see, it's funny. So, I mean, Megan's completely built her network on social media.
Right.
And she uses like page 95% of the time. Brittany does all of hers on social media too, and hers is all through her personal page. So, I mean, like I said, you can't go wrong. You just gotta figure out what works for you.
Right.
But yeah, I'll see if I can find it, or I'll ask Megan maybe if it's on her personal YouTube page or something.
Because wasn't Brittany's call about social media stuff? From what I can remember, it was like seriously one of the very first calls I think I ever like listened to. But
and another one that's good was when Bonnie Engel did our Fit and Fierce team call too. She had some good tips about using your social media page kind of as your sneak peek, which I think is really, really good to think about, where you're already answering questions to objections on your page, and and how that makes the conversation and your messages and emails that much easier because you've already addressed some of the questions that come up. So she said what she does is she has a list of objections that she's gotten over the last week, and she'll post about it. She'll say, oh I hear all the time, I need to chew my food, or something, and talk about how Shakeology, whatever. And so I thought that was really interesting too. And I've tried to do that, but then there's been people that are like, wait, are you talking about me? It's like, maybe I should wait till next week to talk about that. But yeah, so I agree with Logan. I kind of do the same thing. I post the same thing from Instagram that's on my like page, and then occasionally I'll do a straight up workout, whatever, on my personal page, but most of the time it's more family oriented, although I'll sprinkle in my Beachbody, my workout, my Shakeology stuff, and then I do share stuff from my like page. Not a ton, but a couple times a week, like my Transformation Tuesday pictures or things like that. Something that Megan doesn't do, and it's not a bad thing she doesn't do this, but other coaches do this, is we talk about recognition being our fourth vital behavior, and we do an awesome job of that in the team page. But something I like to do is also recognize people on my personal page. You can't tag people on your like page. You can tag other like pages. But so like when I have coaches, yours does.
My like page this weekend, when I put a picture of my girlfriend and I up, like it recognized her face and it tagged her right from my phone.
Well, and see, sometimes I've noticed it does it, but I've heard if you tag people in it, they don't put it in news feeds as often. But that's again something Facebook changes all the time. But anyway, so something I like to do is I like to recognize when my coaches rank advanced on my personal page and tag them. One, because I want people to see like this is a real deal and I'm dealing with real people. And two, I want my coaches people to see that they're successful in what they're doing. And again, this is a real deal. Same thing. I haven't done this in a while, but I like to share transformation pictures of my challengers if they will let me on my personal page, or from, share it from my like page to my personal page, again, just to show that, hey, I'm not just saying I run these accountability groups. Like, we really do them and people really do get results here. And just using recognition through our personal pages, I think is really important. And I don't know if that's the Ruby in me, probably, but, just so that other people can see that this is the real deal. Like, we're not just all talk, like we're doing this, and our businesses are successful. We are, we have transformations physically, whatever it is. So that is something I do like to try to do. I kind of go in cycles where I'll be really, really good about it, and then I kind of back off, and then I'll be really good about it. But, and Megan doesn't do that, but that's the cool thing about Beachbody. Everybody can do different things, whatever works for you, and still be successful. So as far as Facebook goes, that's kind of the things I wanted to touch on. Do you guys have any questions before we move on? No? Okay. And if you guys think of any, always post in the team page, and we'll be more than happy to address them there. If you think of something later on. But I'm going to pass it over to Logan, and she's going to.
Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Instagram. And as far as content, I include pretty much like identical what I do on my like page, because you can link your like page and your personal page both to Instagram, and it's a pretty easy like flip back and forth like little toggle button now, depending on which account you want to, like when you go to share and you hit Facebook, it's pretty easy to choose which account you're wanting to share to. The thing, I have always had a private Instagram until the last, I don't know, how long ago did I make it public? Like a month ago? Like it wasn't that long ago. Wasn't it? Yeah, it wasn't very long ago. And I was kind of following a few other coaches that, and I would kind of see, because the big thing with Instagram and getting people to see your pictures, that if they're not already following you, is through hashtags. And when I was first kind of playing around with it, I do things like hashtag 21-day fix, hashtag Beachbody, hashtag Shakeology, and all that's going to do is get that picture in front of more coaches, because those are the people that are already going to be looking at those hashtags. It's not necessarily the market that I'm after. Like, I want to, my like ideal market that I tend to attract are moms, or nurses, or, people like kind of around, women kind of around my age that either have kids or don't, but moms are pretty much my bread and butter. And so I kind of started playing around with different hashtags, and instead of hashtagging everything like related to fitness, I was hashtagging things like hashtag mom life, hashtag 2 under 2, hashtag let me pull up an example so I can kind of, because there's a few that really especially kind of attract more of like a blogger market, who tend to have a pretty big following. So I'm just pulling up one of my posts so I can get an example. So like I'll do like hashtag postpartum journey, toddler mom, motherhood unplugged, motherhood in the raw, motherhood inspired, honest motherhood. working mom, stay at home mom, like those are the kind of hashtags that I'm using, because hashtagging those is what's going to put my picture in front of the kind of moms that I'm wanting to attract. And it's worked. I've gotten several challenge packs and new challengers from people that hadn't followed me before and that I really didn't have a relationship with at all before, and that are finding my posts in their feeds or through these hashtags and come flip through my page, and then they'll send me a direct message saying that they're inspired and they want to know more, and we go from there, and now they're in my challenge groups and they're doing amazing. So it's definitely, it's kind of weird when you really kind of start tapping into more of your cold market, like, because when you're first starting, you're very much in your warm market with like your friends and family, and it's people that you already kind of have a relationship with. And it definitely like takes a little turn when you're trying to get to know strangers and figure out what exactly is going to help them like meet their needs and reach their goals, because you don't know anything about them really. But so I kind of have a little paragraph, and I save it in like the notes section on my iPhone so that I can just like copy and paste it, because I don't got time to write out like all those hashtags every time I do a post. I just copy and paste it directly in. And I've really just like done this by like watching people and copying. I don't know if you can see it, if I can get it without a glare being on it, but see how there's like the 4 dots that kind of like go down, and then I start all the hashtags. So that makes it so the hashtags don't necessarily show up like in the comments. It just has like a little like ... So that way if people are going to comment, like they have to actually click on it for it to go drop down. So that way then it's also not like clogging things up with like a big paragraph of hashtags. And you can put too many. If you put too many in there, it won't let you post it. So then you have to go through and delete a few. But when you post the link to this video, like on the team page in the comments, I'll kind of copy and paste the ones that I like to use or tend to use. And then you guys can try them out and see if it works for you or not. I've definitely noticed a shift in, because at the beginning it was all Beachbody coaches that were liking my photos and stuff. And I'm like, this is great. Like you guys are really friendly, but you're not who I'm looking for. But so by playing around with using different hashtags that are generated more towards moms, which is my target audience, it's definitely kind of helped attract that market that I'm looking for. And I follow the same kind of timeline as that Haley talked about as far as like time of day to post and stuff too. I don't know if it necessarily plays a big role in Instagram or not, but
because they can always go and search the hashtags, I guess, makes the difference. So do you make a point to add new friends every day?
On Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
Or
follow new people every day, so maybe they'll follow you back?
I kind of pay attention to the people that like the likes that I get on my photos. I'll kind of go through, I definitely like kind of go through and screen people that are liking them. And if they're weirdos, then I'll block them. Yeah. Because there's just some weird accounts out there. And if they seem like a nice normal mom, or, that they're a blogger and have 50,000 followers or like things like that,
It's messed up. It's not working.
Instagram too.
Sounds good to me.
I'm back.
You're back in double action. Okay, go ahead, Brittany.
Whenever you put on Instagram, do you make a separate comment for the hashtags, or
yes.
does it? Okay. And whenever you put the dots, are they periods? Is that all that it is?
They're not periods. They're actually in it's actually in the little let me like pull up my, like I'm going to comment on something. If you go, like if you have an iPhone and you go down to like where the number button is, where you go like 1, 2, 3, and then there's the little key right above ABC that has like the hashtag and the plus and the equal sign. If you hit that one, then all the way over on the far right, there's just a black dot. So I'll see if I can, oh, did it go away? Can you see it? It's like right there. So that's the one that I use.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So when you go to post it though, you want to, like, I type it up. Oh gosh, you're heavy. I type it up in my notes. And you want to space down, you want to enter down like 1 and then do like the 4 or 5 dots and then start your hashtags. I love you too.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm gonna blame it on the weather, but it's probably just our internet.
I was basically, while you got kicked off, I was basically just saying that I kind of try to pay attention to who is liking my posts frequently, and if I'm not already following them, then I will follow them. And they seem to be liking my stuff pretty routinely, then I'll send them a direct message and thank them for always liking my posts and being so supportive, and then ask like a question about their kiddos or something just to like start a conversation, but not, I don't like jump right in and say, do you want to join my challenge group? Like some people that works with, and if I don't know them very well, then we're forming them,
Yeah, so that's the same thing with a like page. I didn't say on Facebook. If you notice somebody constantly commenting or constantly liking, it is a good idea to shoot them a message and just say, hey, thank you so much for your support over on my like page. It really does mean so much to me. And then just say something about something personal. It didn't have to be like, hey, what are your goals? I mean, you can say that, but I would just, I've had more luck in just saying, thanks so much for supporting me. I really appreciate that. I love seeing your comments, or I like to always see that you're liking my post. I see that you guys, I try to scroll or Facebook for a second. I see you guys went to Disney World last week. How was it? I love you too. So same thing Logan was saying with Instagram. Now something, and then we'll go on to Pinterest, but something, have you looked into Instagram at all, Logan? No.
I didn't hear what you said. That's okay.
Have you heard about Instagram?
No.
Okay. So what this is, it is something you pay for, and it is a program that goes through and finds, you put in what hashtags you want it to look for, and you can turn it on, and it goes through and it likes pictures for you, and it comments on pictures for you. So I've not done this because...
Are those some of the generic comments that I'll get that I'm like...
Because I've been on the other end of it and I don't like it. When I have people liking my post from a year ago, liking 3 or 4 of those posts and then commenting some weird, awesome post. And I'm like, that's what it is. It is somebody using Instagram. So it's just a generated comment, a generated like. So I have had a little bit of hesitation with my Instagram because even with using the hashtags, sometimes I find a lot of my comments are what I feel like are coming from Instagram. And so, just know that sometimes when you get those weird comments,
why don't you pick that up so it's out of the way?
Really apply to my post. Like they'll put some, awesome post or keep it up or wow. So in one sense I can see it being good because people may want to follow you after that, but I haven't used it. and because I can tell when people use it on me, and I don't like it. So just so you know, that's kind of where the random comments come from. And I get a lot of likes from Beachbody coaches because of that. Even when I'm using the hashtags that are not 21 Day Fix or not whatever, because people are looking on their Instagrams for people that put mom of two or body after baby or whatever it is. I love you. So, you know, Instagram's hard for me. It's something I really want.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear me?
I think your hand is on the microphone on your laptop.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can. I think it was the way you were holding it.
Oh, maybe. So I'm trying to keep it still because Blakely keeps trying to kick it off my lap. Anyway, so just be on the, I mean, when you get those random comments or where you do see Beachbody coaches liking your stuff, even though you're not using those hashtags, it's probably because they are using Instagram and you are using whatever hashtag they are trying to target. Okay, Heather, you want to touch on Pinterest real quick?
Sure. I don't know how to explain it without showing it to you.
Can you screen share? Is the screen share option there for you, Heather?
Oh, it is. Hold on. I got to pull let me pull up Pinterest on here. Are you still there?
We're here.
Okay. Well, what's my Pinterest name? Oh, there I am. Is that me? That's me. Okay, so go back to Zoom. Let's close this. So what do I do? Just click screen share?
Yeah. And then
It'll
give you a choice of which screen.
Use Zoom, whiteboard, or iPhone. Select the window that you want to share. I don't want any of those.
Do you see where Pinterest is pulled up?
The Pinterest tab is at the top.
Well, maybe click on that one and see. Trial and error here.
Let me.
It won't let you.
No,
It
it's
might just be
not
me.
up. It says desktop, whiteboard. Oh, Pinterest. Can you see it? Did it work?
It just says you are screen sharing, but it doesn't show your screen. Anybody else? Or is it just me? Oh,
There.
there it is.
There it is.
Got it.
Okay, now that I've done this, how do I do it for my desktop? When you go to over here. Okay, when you're in like your news, it'll show like who's following something. Let me see, like right here, see this Tracy person that started following my board?
Mm-hmm.
In order to send Tracy a message, so this is like, there's news, and then in the middle it says you, and then there's the message, but I can't, let me move this there. Oh, under you. So anyway, where did Tracy go? In order for me to send this Tracy person a message, I need to click on Tracy's name, and I need to follow her, which I already did. Because you can only send somebody a message if you're following them. They have to be following you, and you have to be following them. So anytime I get a new person that follows my Shakeology or my 21 Day Fix board, I automatically follow them back, and then I'll go to messages, and then I'll send them a new message. So you just click new message, and like these are all the people that I just sent messages to that started following this week, except for Abby. Except for so this week. So I just say like, hey, what did I say? This one said thank you. Hi, Tiffany. If you ever need help, don't hesitate to ask. I started in December. Here's the link to my Facebook page. I'd love to chat. And that's it. Like, I didn't say I'm a coach. I want, like, I'm just, and then she said, thank you. And I mean, so at least it gets it out there. I've had responses from a few of them. A couple of them started following me on Facebook. So hopefully that makes sense. But you have to follow them and they have to follow you, or you cannot send a message.
Gotcha.
That's cool. Yeah, I didn't know you could send messages on Pinterest, so that's cool.
Like, I tried, like, there was somebody that saved, like, this person that saved all of these pins from my 21 Day Fix. Like, I tried to send her a message, but I can't because she's not following me yet.
It says she's following you.
Where?
Denise Gonzalez started following you.
Well, somebody on there, I tried it and I couldn't. But that, I mean, there might be a better way to do this, but this is just how I've found it to do it.
Yeah.
And like, I just started messaging people on here probably early last week. Oh yeah, right there, following me.
Is it Melanie Mitro that is big into Pinterest, or which one? It's one of those like top coaches that is really big into Pinterest, but I don't know which one it is.
Melanie, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Melanie does a lot of Pinterest, but her big thing is blogging. And so I think if you are a blogger, Pinterest is really, really huge because you can, take it back to your blog.
And all their boards are pretty. Like, all their, they look like Pottery Barn catalogs, where mine looks like, I don't know what.
A blog is actually one of my big goals this year. I'm not a blogger, but I feel like with the way social media is going and things like that, I feel like I want to have some other outlet where people can still find me no matter what the algorithm is for Facebook, and if it's, whatever. But I don't know. It's really intimidating and scary for me, but I know it could be really beneficial. And then, dig into Pinterest that way. But that's awesome. I didn't know you could send messages. So
yeah, and people write me back. But you just have to keep checking. Like, you don't get a
notification
number there. Yeah, but you don't get like a real notification. But I just try.
It stopped working.
Why?
The internet's being funny. We were done now. She's okay. It kicked me off. I'm waiting to get back on.
Put water on the couch.
It's okay.
There you go, Lucy.
I can get wet at the couch and the back.
Okay.
And back.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Come down on the couch.
I know there's probably a lot, but maybe after you go back and watch it, you might have some. So like I said, post your questions on the team page and the comments to whenever I do get this recording out. And if you have that question, don't feel like it's silly, because there's probably at least one other person that has the same question, and it's probably a question that we've had before, if not still have. So don't be afraid to ask. Social media is changing every single day, honestly. We were talking in Megan's leader page the other day how I was like, oh my gosh, my reach on my like page has dramatically dropped the last couple weeks. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? My content must be crappy, with something, but it's happening to everybody. So, Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg or whatever he's doing, he's changing a lot about, what pops up in news feeds. And you guys know.
I feel like it came back up. I felt like mine totally dove, and now I feel like it's getting a little better, but
it's getting a little better, but it's still rough. I mean,
yeah.
It's not what it was back in March. I don't know. What was I going to say? I think I could be wrong, but I think Mark Zuckerberg has ties with another MLM.
You're my best mom.
Yeah. And I don't know if he's going to make it really hard for people to do MLM business on Facebook. I don't know. Well, I guess never know. But anyway, so it's changing all the time. What you do today that works may not work tomorrow, and it's frustrating. But you just got to keep trying different times. Like I said, some days my random 10:30 post because I forgot to post that morning works really well, so anyway.
One thing that I was going to add that I caught from that call that I was telling you about that Megan was on with Brittany's team was that Megan was talking about how she makes sure that she is constantly talking to people, at least 3 to 5 people a day in Facebook Messenger on her personal page was what she was saying, at least on this call. Because Facebook recognizes that you're having these private conversations with people. And so it's going to put you in their newsfeed more and like vice versa, because they recognize that you have this relationship because you're talking like under the table.
Absolutely. And that's why like with Teamzy, I've been trying to use that over this crazy chaotic last week. But my connections, so my goal is to make 10 connections a day, and literally most of them are, hey, I saw you guys just got back from wherever, how was it? Or haven't talked to you, whatever. I mean, just a simple conversation. And I've noticed that they have liked a lot more of my posts this last week because we are having this conversation in Messenger. Like Logan said, Facebook recognizes that we must have some type of connection. So they're going to put my post in front of them a lot more often. So we had this garage sale, and I'm posting a lot of stuff in our like local garage sale group. And I'm getting messages from these people, and those people are liking more of my post. And it's because my stuff is showing up in their feed more often. So don't be afraid to message people just to shoot the breeze, just to catch up, because the way Facebook works, it puts your stuff in their newsfeed more often. And so that's why when I did start Teamzy, I was like, oh my gosh, 10 connections. Like I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to talk to 10 people about joining a challenge group every day. And that's not it. In fact, ask maybe one person a day to join a challenge group. But I literally, for those connections I try to make, I will shoot the breeze. Say it's like Brittany or somebody from high school who I haven't talked to in a long time. I'd been like, hey, Brittany, I saw you guys just started summer. I bet you're so excited. How are things going these days? Simple as that. Sometimes people respond and we have a conversation, and sometimes they don't. But that's why it's important to message people every single day, to always be talking to people. All right, so we've been on for an hour now. We are talkers, and part of it is because my internet keeps kicking me off. But anyway, I really liked this, and I will get this uploaded and posted hopefully tomorrow sometime. And anyway, I hope you guys learned a little bit. Biggest takeaway I want you to take from this is don't be afraid to post. Don't be afraid to share your story. Don't be afraid to just to put it out there, because that's what's going to get people attracted to you, and that's how you're going to make those connections, and then you're going to find these people, wanting to join you in the challenge group. So social media, it's super fun, but yeah, we're all going to get off and post. Exactly, Abby. All right, girls, I will talk to you tomorrow in our team page. I hope you all had fun. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Watch a movie in our bed.